You've probably heard of the saying, never let a crisis go to waste. And today, we'll give you an example of why that's so true in this case. Take into account the advice we've received in recent times. There's going to be a bad patch ahead, and all you can do is bunker down and ride it out. Welcome to Data Dash, and for today's video, we're going to explain what's happening now and what might occur for the future of the economy. But before we get started, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and bell button if you want to keep seeing more of our crypto content. But besides that, let's begin. We're sharing this with you because it shows how tightly our culture is being held in check. It's there, even if you can't see it. Receiving economic conditions is the first issue we must address. In reality, the economy is decelerating. The governor has increased his or her influence. We can see that from any angle. Less help is available for the public as a whole. At several businesses, what was once free is now an added cost. The result is increased costs for necessities. You'll have to fork up the extra cash, but in the end, they may propose a central bank digital currency as compensation. The United States has also reached its maximum level of debt and deficit spending. The US government owes $31 trillion. A year from now, that figure will be considerably higher. The government is warning that this debt poses a threat to the economy. Many factors contribute to this, including an inflationary crisis, severe austerity measures, a lack of budgetary flexibility, and the possibility of a protracted decline. It's possible for any of the above to occur. When does this pattern finally end? The fact of the situation is that each of us must bear the burden. We have a problem if interest rates rise, because so much of people's wealth today is tied to real estate. Unemployment is low, thus, they aren't really concerned with keeping people employed. People aren't making enough money to survive, especially considering the debt they're accumulating trying to keep up with the Joneses, while also affording the basic necessities of life. The upcoming recession predicted by Stephen Paulo is expected to be mild in comparison to previous recessions. So, some people think we can ignore the problem. They have faith in these soft landings because they reason everything will eventually come to a halt once they get even slightly worse. We should tell them to cease raising interest rates because they seem content with the current level. Everything is fine. Loan rates will be lowered as soon as times get rough. The economy need not respond in any particular way, even though the stock market might. Overpriced Canadian real estate will take a major hit if the country enters a recession. Many folks treat their HELOC like a checking account. Numerous people have told us that this is a great idea because of the cheap interest rate. However, your home is not a financial asset and should be treated as such. You shouldn't put yourself in harm's way like that. Problems arise if you lose your employment unexpectedly. You wouldn't have to worry about the state of the economy or the stability of your income so long as you keep your day job. Your home has fantasy equity, so you can likely borrow against it. However, what if a crisis arose? What if there was a situation that abruptly altered the course of events? 50 years of research on growth limits 50 years after the Club of Rome's initial proposal to overhaul the global economic system, momentum is building for change. To some extent, we may agree that GDP is not the best indicator of the state of the economy, but they tend to ignore the bigger picture in favor of the details. The Great Recession of 2008 is a paradigmatic illustration of how individuals in need turn to the government for aid. Many people lost their employment during the recession, increasing the demand for government aid. People who are drowning in debt may find temporary relief through government assistance programs, including Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Medicaid, and temporary assistance for needy families. In particular, the number of people receiving SNAP benefits rose by an estimated 17.2 million between 2007 and 2011 as a result of the Great Recession. Overall, people who are already deeply in debt become more reliant on government social assistance as the economy worsens. Particularly during the Great Recessions, millions of people relied on federally supported programs to get by. There are likely more folks who need to be locked down, but for some reason, they aren't showing up at this time. We're going to do this again, and we anticipate that it will continue in this on and off pattern indefinitely. We assume they are trying to drum up business in preparation for the upcoming Chinese New Year. It's possible it'll happen then, or at least that's when people are most likely to stay indoors. But if you recall from when this first happened in 2020, it was only a 3-week break at first. Since the reliability of the daily statistics, China has stopped sharing it. Since the overall rates had increased substantially, they decided to stop reporting it. Okay, they're saying, we're not going to do that. What we hope to demonstrate is that governments have become increasingly authoritarian in recent decades. And the main worry is that someday there will be a reason for war. You might be wondering why it is. You can count on at least 2 opposing groups, and often more than one location, to battle each other anytime you look. There's always a need to bring in something, so they'll use every provocation they can find as a reason. It doesn't matter if it's something natural or something created by humans, if they use it on their own terms. The United States and a few other countries have essentially restricted China's access to, or attempted to restrict China's access to, these advanced semiconductors. But ultimately, what we see with China, Taiwan, and of course the United States in breaking that down into the subconductors. We think this could be the next step, so we're keeping an eye on it too. We can see that China and Russia are working together. There's a connection here to the issue of scarcity, which arises when fewer people have access to fewer resources. Conflicts flare up whenever there is a financial crisis, which, as we've established, need not be entirely artificial. Who knows what kind of opportunity a cyber attack presents, but it may be anything. Oh, we had some big problems with our present system. We need to do these new things because we have these countries over there that are using it in a terrible way. And that's really awful for you, the person out there, because that's where the inflation's coming from. Russia. We need to use the new CBDC to get that message out there. Everyone watching should pay attention to this. This is merely an illustration. Your mileage may vary depending on local conditions and your chosen approach. Yesterday, we've provided an example of a Swedish homeowner who had successfully recouped the cost of their energy bills. The point was that it was a passive house, which uses almost no energy and no heating or cooling systems. However, the primary point we're attempting to make is that there will be serious consequences for us if we learn to rely too heavily on this system. Reasons for this may include the current significance of concerns related to money, job security, and income. Thank you for watching this video on Data Dash. As we've discussed, the current crisis has accelerated the development and implementation of CBDCs, and it's important to stay informed and prepared for the changes that are coming. If you found this video informative, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest insights and analysis in the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Thanks again, and we'll see you in our next video.